Come on, man. Go for it, dude.
It's Friday! Friday! Friday!
Why, yes, it is. It's time for SDH AM here on a Friday, and boy, do we have a lot of stuff to get into. Okay, so here is what we got and where we can go today. Bart Keeler is going to join us at 10 o'clock to talk about the USMNT. We do have highlight from the match against Saudi Arabia. We've got sound with Jenny Taft from Fox Sports and Fox Soccer as she caught up with Sebastian Berhalter and Tyler Adams after the match last night at Q2, where it was about 725 degrees, and all the U.S. needed was one goal. They got the one goal. They got the win. They're going to be advancing into the knockouts. So we'll discuss that with Bart. That'll be at 10 o'clock. In addition to everything else, Gold Cup, we'll get into that. We've got all your transfer news as that's picking up overseas. We've got all the Gold Cup stuff to get into. You're going to hear from Fafa Pico after the match yesterday where Messi had another moment of normality, and it was filthy. There's no way to go around it. We'll go over all the stats and the numbers and things like that when it comes to Gold Cup. There was just more than the one moment yesterday involving Messi and friends in the Gold Cup. Botafogo gets a big win against PSG, and so that's the first time ever that a South American country has beaten a European team in a competition since Corinthians back in 2012. So we'll go through all the results from yesterday. We'll lay out your standings, get you into your juice boxes for today as well, and we'll lay out the Gold Cup. So we're going to lay out the Gold Cup. We're going to lay out Bart with the USMNT and the Gold Cup. So it's Club World Cup, it's Gold Cup, it's chaos in Canada, and we'll hear the report from our friend Christian Jack at One Soccer. If things work out schedule-wise, we're going to hear from KJ in Houston or in Dallas or one of the Texas cities, wherever Canada is going to be. So, of course, I don't have my Canada notes here in front of me. In Texas on Tuesday. So we'll find out what the latest is from KJ. We'll get his latest report from Houston about the discussion with CONCACAF, the statements that have been put out by both Canada Soccer and by CONCACAF about Jesse Marsch and the assistants and KJ's analysis. So we've got a little bit of that too. So it's Christian Jack at One Soccer. It is Fafa Pico. It is Gold Cup. It is World Cup. It is transfers. And also, if we have time this morning, and I probably should just go ahead and play it now for opening kickoff, the U15s. The U15s for Atlanta United have made it to the semifinals in the cup that they are currently, the MLS Next Cup that they are currently crushing it in. So U15 has a club berth in the finals yesterday, and it was because of the efforts of an entire club, but one dude putting the ball in the back of the net. And it's, moments like this. So this will be opening kickoff brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. Let's hear about the U15s and how they made it to the title, and one guy in particular scoring a brace.
Last 20 seconds, Atlanta players dribbling right by. This left-footed cross into a dangerous spot. Atlanta has leveled it. Gonzalo Riveras, 1-1. Game on.
Going to Martinez and playing quickly.
Throw to the edge of the 6. Oh, unleashing one here. Atlanta goes up 2-1.
So there's your rundown of what happened in the U15s, thanks to our friends at MLS Soccer and Apple TV. So the U15s advance to the finals of their particular tournament, and so that's where we at when it comes to U15 schedule. I'm sitting here looking at the U15 MLS next schedule, and so let me slide all the way down. Accept, yes. 617, yes. Accept. Where's my second page? Shouldn't be all that large. So it's going to be Atlanta United, Philadelphia Union. That's going to be tomorrow, and you can catch that on all of your favorite social media platforms, I would imagine, and also Apple TV Plus. But Atlanta United wins over Nashville 2-1. They were down 1-0 at Richard Siegel. Then Philadelphia goes to penalties against all caps U15s, and they advance 5-4. So Atlanta United, Philadelphia Union, U15 MLS Next Championship on the line. That is tomorrow at the Richard Siegel Soccer Complex. And I've got to figure out where is the Richard Siegel Soccer Complex. I'm trying to figure out. It's like I'm clicking on, things, but it's okay, fine. Richard Siegel Soccer Complex, U15s tomorrow, bright and early. It'll be the U15 final, Atlanta United, Philadelphia Union. So once again, thanks to our friends at MLS Next, Apple TV, and MLS Season Pass. So big win for the U15s. And so we got stuff to talk about. All right, so that was opening kickoff, the success of the U15s. Brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. You hit that QR code to start your day, and then you go into Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. Buy out the entire store, because you can do that at 15% off when you use the code SoccerDownHere15. Then our friends at Kickoff Coffee, just next time you catch up with Melissa Ortiz, you can ask her about it. Catch up with her and find out about the 10% that they donate to their Soccer for Good campaigns, causes that they think are cool. Once again, brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. Now, also, don't forget, go to soccerdownhere.net. You can get your new gear. Don't forget, you can become a member at fanatisfntz.co/soccerdownhere. You can help them out by adding to your continued fanaticism, your continued degenerative nature of checking out a bunch of different networks from a bunch of different places in and around the planet, this planet. That when Fanatis can go to other planets for soccer, I think that'd be cool. So it is TSA Nuestro Telesitio for the fans. TSA, all the BNs. You can get your Libertadores, your Sudamericana, working with all the BNs. They, in turn, they can give you AFCON. They can give you all of the stuff going on with Ligue 1, with the Turkish League. And I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that I've missed. Yeah, all the BNs can get you all that stuff at fanatisfntz.co/soccerdownhere. Also, you can help out our friends at the Marshall Islands with the Marshall Islands Soccer Federation. You buy everything but scarves, it comes from England. You buy scarves, it comes from me. You can help them out August 14, 15, 16. It is the Outrigger Challenge Cup in Springdale, Arkansas. First ever 11v11 tournaments that the Marshall Islands are going to be having as a nation. It is going to be Turks and Caicos, U.S. Virgin Islands, the Ozark United U19s, and our friends from the Marshall Islands. They needed a fourth in Arkansas. Ozark United stepped up. Very, very cool that they are. It's the 14th through the 16th. That entire week is going to be bringing in players and catching everybody up on the Marshallese community and everything. So very, very cool stuff there. Get everything but the scarves. You get all the gear, the bucket hats, the jerseys, and everything. That comes from England. That comes from our friends Matt and Lloyd. But scarves come from me on the other side of this door. Also, become a Fanatico, $10 a year. And let me see if I can spell it. And because, like I said, there's a need help icon. There's a need help icon. group.chant.fan/soccer-down-here/join. Let me see if I spelled it right. I think I did. No, I don't need help. No, I don't need help. And it just blocks everything out. That pisses me off. All right, so there you go. You can become a Fanatico, group.chant.fan/soccer-down-here/join, $10 a year. Helps out our Soccer for Good campaign, and then you get a bunch of cool discounts at a bunch of cool places in the northern half of the state of Georgia and a resort in Costa Rica. I'm not kidding. You get a code. You're a Fanatico. You go stay there. It's about 2.5 hours north of San Jose. I guess you fly into San Jose. You drive up. You stay there. And, if you ever want to come back into San Jose and watch Herediano, you want to watch Saprissa, you want to watch Alajuelense, you can do that, but you can stay at Chateau Arnal. You get a discount by being a Fanatico. Bunch of discounts, bunch of different places, eateries, Tires Plus, breweries, all around the northern half of the state of Georgia, and the list is growing. So become a Fanatico, group.chant.fan/soccer-down-here/join. You can do that, and you can really have a boatload of fun being a Fanatico and share the experience with us there on the SDH network. So what is that? What is that? What is that? So it's like, sorry, I had something, and I don't know what that is. Something drifted into my Mountain Dew glass. Sorry. It was so I don't know what it was, but it is now out of the glass, and hopefully the drink will continue to be safe. Okay. Olive and York get the first ever SDH jersey, thanks to our friends at Kaiser Permanente. They're across the front, Beyond Goals Mentoring on one sleeve, and our friends Soccer for Good on the other sleeve. You can help out our Soccer for Good campaign here in 2025 by getting the Olive and York jersey. You can see Greg Garza model it along with our Sofia Cupertino and our Madison Cruz. Also on the board, you can go to Grady Baby and Grady Baby Co. Get our Soccer is Just Better in Atlanta gear, the gold embossed lettering on either the red or the black, either on the T-shirt or the sweatshirt. Your SDH Network logo is on one cuff, Grady Baby logo on the other cuff, and you're helping out middle school soccer programs attached to Atlanta Public Schools by helping out our friends at Grady Baby. I think that's everybody for all of our Soccer for Good. So it's Olive and York. It is Grady Baby. It is soccerdownhere.net in the shop section. It is Fanatis. It's the Marshall Islands. I think that's everybody. But once again, become a Fanatico, group.chant.fan/soccer-down-here/join. Okay. Morning, Jordan. Morning, Abby. And so Abby, and morning, Lokeville. Abby's mad that Messi and friends won. The Fort Lauderdale Strikers fandom of Abby carries no bound. So many shots on goal for Porto. We'll go over the numbers in a bit when we hear from Fafa Pico. Morning, Jordan. Also not happy the Herons won. For those of you that may follow Tyler Pilgrim on his media that is social, he has made it to Lisbon. He was wearing his Atlanta United jersey, and he already got shout-outs in the Lisbon airport. So that's your reach of Atlanta United right there, folks. Tyler might be joining us. I hope that Tyler finds a way on Wednesday, 5 days from now, to join us from Portugal. I mean, literally, even if he just parachutes in at 9, whatever, and just sits there and says, "Hey, look, Portugal, Big Ben Parliament," kind of a thing. So that would be cool. But we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, he's already gotten shout-outs in the Lisbon airport. Porto, their fans came in strong yesterday. I give them absolutely full credit for doing what they did and making their way in. A lot of them, according to Jason, came in from the Northeast, where you have a large Portuguese immigrant community. So they flew in from the Northeast, came down, watched the match. They were in the 200s and the 100s, and they were shouting back and forth with one another, which I thought was really cool. So we'll see. But yeah, very, very cool stuff from Porto, even though they lost yesterday. Like I said, we'll get into Gold Cup standings, get into all the things, and we'll lay it all out for you there in just a little bit. Like I said, it is going to be a lot to talk about. And so, like I said, anything on your mind, lay it out there. All right. What was the other thing? Oh, Abby. Does our HOA allow lawn decorations for celebratory birthdays? I don't know. I mean, we've had signs in the past for various things, and we have kind of a Decatur FC sign tucked back toward the house, and it's been toward the front of, if you want to call our I'm trying to think of the measurement. The front yard that is ours is literally a tree, pine straw, and hostas with some ivy. And I'm trying to think, it might be 6 or 8 feet wide by 12 to 14 feet long. So in a possible 6 by 12 or 8 by 14 space, where a large tree is kind of like our line of demarcation. We have a lot of pine straw. We've got some ivy. We have some hostas. So I don't know. Maybe if you did something fairly quiet, if it was demure and wasn't like, silly string or toilet paper or anything, maybe you could get away with it. And we can sit there and play it off as, oh, we didn't know this was going to happen. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. How'd you do? How'd you do? So full disclosure, let's see. So the 24th is my birthday. The 27th, a week from today, is the boss's. Full disclosure once again, next week from after the show on Monday to after the show on Thursday, we are going to be out of state celebrating appropriately. The Rowdy Man's coming with us. So we are celebrating birthdays out of state next week. Monday, we will be here doing the show. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we will be out of state doing the show, celebrating birthdays out of state. Coming back Thursday, Friday back here for the show next week. And then that's when we have the boss's celebration because it is a 39th repeating and we are going to have a celebration of folks. So birthday party next Friday for the boss. Me, I'm the 24th, which is Tuesday, but we will not be in pocket. But so, Abby, let me phrase it this way. If you knew someone that would feel compelled to do something incredibly humbling, like put stuff in our yard celebrating birthdays. Now, I don't know if you plan on doing it. I'm just taking this question that you have at face value. And this is probably more opening kickoffy than anything else. Asking if the HOA allows lawn decorations for celebratory birthdays. I don't know. And if we are not here when the decorations go up, I can sit there and say I didn't know that was going to happen. I honestly didn't know. That's very nice of them to do, but I didn't know that was going to happen. I know, Abby, you are just asking a question to satisfy a curiosity. I know that is exactly what you're doing. I do not have an HOA-ish type answer for you, but let me phrase it once again. If you know someone or someones that might want to, perhaps, if you know someone in a subdivision, in a situation similar to ours, and they were wanting to celebrate incoming birthdays and impending birthdays, I do not know if the HOA police are going to get mad about it. Depending on the HOA, I don't know. And if it was to happen here at Office HD and we just, returned from our vacation next week and saw on the 26th when we came back stuff that was there in the yard celebrating birthdays, I'm sure that the boss and I would be pleasantly shocked and surprised. But I cannot tell you with any great certainty if an HOA would get mad, specifically this one. So I cannot give you a definitive answer about this particular HOA that the boss and I are in. So if you knew someone that wanted to do something like that and do something incredibly humbling and neighborly for upcoming birthdays for folks that you may know, I do not know the fallout. I do not know what the fallout would be in a situation like this. Really don't. But that would be incredibly humbling and very, very nice if someone did that and the boss and I came back from our vacation out of state and saw that in our yard. And obviously, we would take full responsibility for something like that and sit there and go, can we at least have this up for maybe a day and a half upon our return? If that was to happen to our yard, although I don't know that it is happening to our yard. So there you go. That's as good of an answer as I can give you. That if it was to happen, if you knew folks that were thinking about doing something like that, and they did something like that to a yard for folks that you know, I don't know what the fallout would be. I would hope that folks would be neighborly and in the spirit of said birthday celebration, but who knows? And if it was to happen, then obviously, you know, the family that was celebrating the birthdays probably would end up taking the heat. So that would be the idea. So yes, the boss has a round numbered birthday coming up a week from today. So there you go. So it might be a one day thing. So we'll see. Okay. Now Abby is also letting me know. So Jordan did some rough scheduling. Yeah, it might be the 23rd. If right now it looks like Messi and friends will be making their way into the second round. They might be playing Botafogo at this point, considering Botafogo's win over PSG. A lot of folks are sitting there thinking PSG and Messi and friends, but because of the Botafogo win, we have to wait till match day 3 to figure things out. Looks like Messi and friends at least have the tiebreaker to get the second spot out of group, but we'll sit there and take a peek at it as we go. Public service from Abby. Go to Olive and York. Worked with All Stripes for a Pride jersey. So once again, there's the link there. Go to Olive and York, and you can add all the things. So Abby says, I need to find out something special. Gifting for the boss. It would be a one-day thing. Take them down at your desire. Won't be quiet, and we will talk. The boss catches up with you. Yes. So, yes, if you and the boss. So it's going to go up after we come home Friday, very, very early. Okay. So Abby knows people that might be doing things in our front yard for the boss's 0 birthday coming up. 40, 30, yes. So she has a round numbered birthday coming up. And so, yes, Abby, if you knew folks that were going to be doing something like that, then that would be incredibly neighborly and incredibly humbling. And yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll see how many people have a sense of humor about things. So we'll see. All right. An elongated opening kickoff, but rightfully needed because of all the things. Tell you what, before we get into activities, we'll see how much we can go. Like I said, Bart's going to join us at 10 o'clock to discuss Gold Cup, USMNT, all the things. Like I said, we do have posts from Tyler Adams and Sebastian Berhalter, plus the call from John and Stu last night on Fox Soccer on the Berhalter set piece to Chris Richards, 1-0 win over Saudi Arabia. So once again, we'll get into Gold Cup. We'll get into what it's going to look like today. We'll get into that in 10 o'clock hour. We do have, like I said, our Canada update and transfer update and all the things that we can get into there. Before we get into Gold Cup, et cetera. Yesterday, I don't know if you know this, but there's a dude. There's a dude that is okay in this sport of soccer that we all talk about on a daily basis. This is a call, and there are times when you just kind of hope that certain announcers get paired with certain folks on certain calls. Yesterday on DAZN, so this is courtesy of DAZN USA, DAZN Football, FIFA, and the Club World Cup. Andres Cantor had a moment for some dude named Messi down at Mercedes-Benz.
It's Messi time. Messi!
13 seconds. A 13-second hold for Andres Cantor. You know it's a good call win. When Andres Cantor is dropping dime like that for 13 seconds on a hold, and if you have not seen it, then what I would suggest is check out our social media, because the uber talented Sophia Cupertino was all over it. We have various pictures of the moment, and she crushed it which is a day that ends in Y. And so we've got the stills up on our social media platforms. If you don't follow us, Sophia's handiwork is one of the reasons why you should. So Sophia was all over it. She got the free kick, and it was you come back from a 1-0 deficit. Now the penalty that was called, and Abby, the short version on Saudi Arabia is they were guessed in. They're like the Gold Cup has like wild card slots, and they can guest folks in like they've guested in Qatar in the past. So Saudi Arabia was a guest. It was a special guest star in the Soccer Quinn Martin production known as the Gold Cup. So the penalty, you could go either way. And, you said we were having the discussion in the press box as we were looking at it. You can call it. You could also not call it. But if you're going to call it, you got to stick to it, and you've got to be that consistent for the rest of the day. I thought the officiating was kind of like, He'd let him be too physical, then he'd have to overcorrect. So you have a moment like that, 1-0 off the penalty, and I'm still confused, and I'm going to have to ask Bart this about starts and stops and penalty kicks, because Samu looked like he stopped, full stop, and maybe the lean was what was the difference. I don't know. So Samu leans, starts, stops, leans, kicks, gets it past Oscar Ustari. Ustari guessed correctly. But it was a goal for Porto, 1-0. Then you end up with a goal on the board, and it was great work on the right-hand side with Chelo Weigand, Segovia, and it finished up with Agenda, or it finished with Segovia. So it went Weigand, Segovia, Agende, and then off the short hop too, and he just absolutely hit it flush. So it was 1-1 at that point. Then you get the free kick moment. Now, if you go back and watch the match, and I don't know how many of you have DAZN or the signed up for the free account or just watching everything Club World Cup and have access to the matches in and of itself. If you go back and watch the match, and the foul that happened at the edge of the 18 with Messi, literally it was like a 2v1. Messi's trying to split the defenders. He's inside the arc. He gets taken down inside the arc, like literally that much. And I'm holding my hands for those just listening, about a foot apart, outside of the edge of the 18, inside the arc. He takes the ball, moves the ball back outside the arc to about 23. So he moves the ball back a good 4 yards. And I've got to ask Bart about this too. So Messi moves the ball back from the spot of the foul. Center ref doesn't challenge. Everything's cool. So he moves the ball back, and so he's got it at about 22 or 23, edge of the arc, just outside the arc, to give him the chance to get the ball in a place where he knows he can get the ball up and down, put enough movement and motion on the ball, and put the ball in the back of the net past the Porto keeper. So major bonus points. But once again, this is how thoughtful and how three-dimensional. I mean, this is like Vulcan chess when it comes to set pieces. And now apparently the number was flashed yesterday that Messi now has more set piece goals than penalty kick goals since 2010. I think it's 2010. 34 and 33. So now he has more goals from set pieces than PKs after what happened yesterday. But the savviness of Lionel Messi to move the ball back a good 4 yards to give himself the room that he needed to go up and over the wall and then go into the corner where Porto's keeper couldn't touch it. Great, once again, great Vulcan chess from Messi when you're looking at what he was looking at in an opportunity. 2 goals in 7 minutes for Messi and friends in the 47th, and Messi's in the 54th. To give them the 2-1 lead, they hang on, and Porto gets the loss. First time ever that a CONCACAF team and a team from Major League Soccer, so however you want to phrase it, first time that a Major League Soccer team and a team from CONCACAF beat a European side in a competition. So MLS side, CONCACAF side, both of them enter Miami. And it was once again a movement over Porto. First time ever knocking off a European team in a competition like this. So now they've got the tiebreaker, and it looks like worst case, Messi and friends will be the two coming out of their group, playing the team that would be the top seed out of the group that is paired with them. A lot of folks thought it might be PSG. That's going to take some work. So you might have Botafogo and Messi and friends in the knockouts back at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We'll keep an eye on it. But once again, we got to get through all the match days first. But the savviness of Lionel Messi, once again, working its way through everything to line it all up to where Messi knocks in the kick, and it ends up with going in the back of the net. 2-1 lead at the time, 2-1 finish. After the match, Fafa Picault made it into the mix zone, and he got to answer a lot of questions about one guy in particular, one teammate in particular, and what it's like having him around. Here's Fafa Picault in the mix zone from yesterday.
No, I think games like this always show more than just quality. They also show character and heart. It was important to come back from that. We knew how important this result would be for us, and it's a testament of everybody's character and heart overall.
So, Fafa, how important do you say Messi's leadership was today in today's performance?
No, I think it's always important. We already know the player he is, a player that's won 8 Ballon d'Ors and has won everything. So when you bring that to this competition, it's important to have him on your side. And we all do our best to make sure that we can support him in the best way. And we all have to do our part as well. But he's a great leader and an amazing player, obviously, like we all know. And it's great that he's on our side.
Just to follow up on Messi, I think every single question that's ever been asked about him has been asked. So I'll try something a little different. Without any thought, what are the first 3 words that spring to mind when you hear the words Lionel Messi? And can you tell us one thing he's told you, maybe guidance or advice that you take with you to this day?
I'd say leader, winner, and winner again. I think that's the words we need. He's fantastic. I think just his presence and the way he sees the game and kind of just sometimes it's not always said with words, but just with signals and body action. So we try to read off of that, and obviously we have combos behind doors, but there's a lot more than just talking that can show signs of leadership.
Fafa Picault in the mix zone. You can listen to that entire conversation that he had with us in the mix zone on the Off the Woodwork podcast section, 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app. Maddie and Jason wrapped up the matchup and the match day in the Club World Cup. You can listen to that with their debriefs. And so you get to hear the whole Fafa Picault mix zone conversation that he had with all of us from the Atlanta media, the Atlanta-based media. So let's see, it was me, Maria Martin from Channel 11, Reggie Chapman, Channel 11. It was Kelly Price and Victor Prieto from Channel 5. And so we were all there in that one group. And so Fafa Picault answering questions from us, British press, South American press, all in one place. You can catch that entire conversation at Jason and Maddie's wrap from yesterday at 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app. So yesterday in the Club World Cup, once again, we'll get you ready for the rest of the Club World Cup today, go through juice boxes, all the things. And since Fafa is no longer talking, I probably could get rid of that font. So there we go. Okay, so yesterday in the activity, Palmeiras and Al Ahly, once again, sets up a showdown for the last match day in Group A. Palmeiras and Messi and friends for all of the top seedness. That's match day 3. Palmeiras over Al Ahly 2-0. That one was in the Meadowlands. The Messi and friends match got the win there. Then Atletico Madrid scored early. Seattle, in front of a crowd of about 51,000, could not catch up and keep up with Atletico Madrid. Scored in the 14th minute, and it was on from there. Atletico Madrid 1-0 at the break, 3-1 final. Atletico Madrid now looks like they might be it's a jumbled mess. We'll get into the jumbled mess when it comes to the group stage just coming up here in a second. Then Botafogo, the 1-0 win over PSG at the Rose Bowl. That was your nighttime shocker in Club World Cup. So with the 1-0 win for Botafogo over PSG, looking at the standings in Group A and B, because those are the two. Because Jordan was like, an hour and 40 minutes? That MetLife had a weird weather delay. So right now, here's how it is in Group A and Group B. Botafogo's in the driver's seat in Group B. Palmeiras, Messi and friends, both at 1-1. 1 win, 1 draw, 4 points. Better goal difference goes to Palmeiras at the moment, but once again, it is going to be those two squaring off against each other to figure out who's going to go to the next round. They basically could have a kickabout for 90 minutes, each get a point, each advance through. Palmeiras would get the group, and then Messi and friends would be your B. Porto and Al Ahly will finish if one of those teams wins and Palmeiras and Messi and friends walk away with a point. Porto and Al Ahly go home. Loss and you go home. Win and you've got a chance, but math has to be involved and then the tiebreakers. But once again, because of what happened yesterday, Messi and friends have the tiebreaker over Porto. So Porto is on life support getting out of the group stage. Looks like it could be some combination of Palmeiras and Messi and friends, but we got math. We got match day 3 and math that we have to pay attention to. Group B, Botafogo in the driver's seat. So right now, it would be Group B's champion against the number 2 out of Group A. That's the one scheduled for Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the knockouts. So right now, it would be Botafogo and Messi and friends. PSG right now is at 3 points, win and a loss. Atletico Madrid, win and a loss. But PSG has a superior goal difference. They have 5 higher in goal difference, and they also have the tiebreaker on Atleti. So right now, Seattle needs a win, and they need a lot of help. Atleti and PSG are going to be figuring it out, trying to figure out how they can get wins in the last match day to match Botafogo's number. Then you get into tiebreakers and such. But Botafogo looks like they're in some point. 6 points, 2 wins, goal difference of +2, and then you got to go to head-to-head because it's FIFA tiebreakers that advance you through. So right now, looking like, and like I said, this is without any kind of look at, logic. But right now, if it was to happen today, you would have Botafogo and Messi and friends, I believe, at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in your knockout stage. And then the survivor in Group B, the one that makes it through, PSG Atletico Madrid, would be taking on Palmeiras. That's as of right now as we're talking. But then things change. We know this. So that's your rundown of Groups A and B and what it looks like for action coming back to Mercedes-Benz in the knockouts. Today, it is our friends at Auckland City. You're going to be hearing from some of them. Went to practice yesterday. It was rainy. My phone told me, and we all know about technology. We all know about technology and how incredibly accurate it can be. So yesterday, I went up to the Baylor School and caught up with our friends from Auckland City. And it was very, very cool to be able to go up and do that. So, and basically, it is a big blanking shout out to everybody involved with Auckland City and everyone attached to the battalion there in Chattanooga. Our friend Sean McDaniel was a part of the FIFA group that was in charge of making sure folks got to where they were supposed to be. Shout out to the security for letting me park in a place I probably shouldn't have. Shout out to Sean for being a great escort and loaning me his umbrella when it was supposed to be cleared in 76. Shout out to security in general. Shout out to Auckland City. Caught up with a couple of their players. They've got the noon match today. We'll play some of that on social. We'll have a story up at soccerdownhere.net this weekend, and we might roll the audio over in its entirety. We'll let you know. But at the very least, social media, you'll catch up with Auckland City and a couple of their big guns. And you'll also get the written piece at soccerdownhere.net this weekend. So keep an eye on Auckland City. They are the noon game today. Yesterday at the end of practice, the part of practice that I was able to watch, they were working on set pieces and defending set pieces. So I imagine that that's what they're staring at going up against Benfica in Group C. They're the noon kick in Central Florida at the Purple House. Then 2 o'clock, Flamengo and Chelsea at the Link. Then 6 o'clock tonight in Nashville, it is LAFC and Esperance de Tunisie. And for those watching on DAZN UK or DAZN Global, Jess Charman will have the call on that one. And then at 9 o'clock, it's going to be Bayern Munich, Boca Juniors at Hard Rock. That one's probably going to be a packed house. So those are your matchups today. Group C and Group D trying to get all their elbow room squared away. Benfica, Auckland City at noon. Flamengo, Chelsea at 2. LAFC and Esperance de Tunisie at 6. Bayern Munich, Boca Juniors is at 9. So that's what you're staring at. Let's look at the juice boxes in those. I imagine that it will be a large margin involving our friends from Auckland City. They don't care. They know what it means in the grand scheme of things for them, their program, and what it means to be on the world stage. They are a plus 71.33 in the composite going up against Benfica. Benfica's a minus 10,000. Draw, if you're interested, is a plus 35.17. Flamengo is a plus 262 hosting Chelsea. Draw is a plus 217. Chelsea is a plus 117. So Chelsea favored at the link against Flamengo. Don't tell Luis Aruju that. LASC is a plus 106 at Geodis up against Esperance de Tunisie. LAFC, once again, favored. Esperance is a plus 263. Your draw is a plus 244. Bayern Munich, Boca Juniors. Bayern Munich, a big favorite, by the way, at the Hard Rock at 9 o'clock. Minus 345 for Bayern Munich against Boca Juniors. Boca Juniors is a plus 876. Tomorrow, just to let you know, and so since we don't have a show on Saturday or Sunday, let's break down what's going to happen on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is Group E and Group F. Mamelodi Sundowns, Borussia Dortmund is at noon at TQL. Inter and Urawa Red Diamonds is at Lumen at 3. Fluminense and Ulsan HD is at the Meadowlands at 6. River Plate and Monterrey is at 9 o'clock at the Rose Bowl on Saturday. Dortmund a minus 270. Mamelodi Sundowns a plus 680. Draws a plus 407. Inter a minus 556 in the composite, courtesy of our friends at Odds Portal, going up against Urawa Red Diamonds at a plus 1293. Draws a plus 624. Fluminense big favorite against Ulsan HD. Fluminense a minus 312. Draws a plus 409. Ulsan HD is a plus 859. River Plate a plus 106. Hosting Monterrey at a plus 259. Your draws a plus 246. Sunday, noon, 3, 6, and 9. The 9 o'clock match is here at Mercedes-Benz, Manchester City and Al Ain. Manchester City's a minus 14.29, basically double that on the plus side. You've got Al Ain a plus 27.32. It's changing as I'm staring at it. Noon, Juve and Wydad. Juve a minus 400. Wydad AC plus 12.12. Real Madrid a minus 370 at B of A. Hosting Pachuca. Pachuca's a plus 921. Salzburg, 6 o'clock, is a plus 301 at Audi Field against Al Hilal. Al Hilal is favored at a minus 119. Your draw's a plus 283. And that gets you through the weekend when it comes to the matches themselves. Standings, Group C. Bayern, once again, big goal difference. Benfica and Boca Juniors had the draw last time out. Bayern Munich is 3 points and a goal difference of plus 10. Auckland City, we know their situation. Group D. Flamengo and Chelsea both with a win. Identical goal difference. So Group D will be interesting. LAFC and Esperance, once again, no points, same goal difference. Group E, River Plate, 3 points. They're the only team that got the win in the opening round, knocking off Urawa Red Diamonds 3-1. Monterrey and Inter with the 1-1 draw. Group F, Mamelodi Sundowns, the only team that won, but they played Ulsan HD. So Borussia Dortmund and Fluminense, they had the surprise draw last time out there, each at a point. They got some work to do. Can Mamelodi Sundowns pull out a result against Dortmund? That would go a long way for them. Then Group G and H, Juve, Manchester City on top. Wydad and Al Ain are not. Group H, Salzburg is at 3 points, the only team that has 3 points. Real Madrid, Al Hilal, the surprise draw from the opening match day in Group H. And Pachuca, no points after losing to Salzburg in the opening round. Okay. Once again, Bart Keeler is going to join us in about 10 minutes. We're going to break down everything going on in Gold Cup. That's what I was trying to figure out. Okay, now, the underlying subplot in Gold Cup. We talked about it yesterday when Jason came in and he pinch hit and he got to catch up with Nino and Nico. Jesse Marsh. Jesse Marsh right now is being talked about by CONCACAF folks and the Canadian staff about no-nos that happened in their last match in the Gold Cup. Doing things that they shouldn't have done, and apparently they were also being vocal in ways that they should not have been vocal. Our friend Christian Jack at One Soccer up in Canada, the soccer network north of the border, is touring with the club. He is in Houston with Canada Soccer as they're getting ready for their matchups here this weekend. Like I said, in a perfect world, KJ is going to join us on Tuesday. But after the match, he got to Texas, had conversations with players and such, getting ready for everything. But here's KJ's update from yesterday, courtesy of our friends at One Soccer, about the Jesse Marsh situation and what folks might be looking at from CONCACAF when it comes to discipline and what goes into the magnifying glass.
Let's get into the big story of the day, and that, of course, is CONCACAF's statement against Canadian Soccer Association and Jesse Marsh. We'll put the statement up for you on the screen, and I'm going to go through it with some facts and also bring into some information that I've gathered over the last 24 hours as well. As you can see from the statement, CONCACAF has initiated disciplinary proceedings against the Canadian Soccer Association and its head coach, Jesse Marsh, for incidents that occurred during the 2025 Gold Cup match. We'll get back to that word in a second, incidents. The disciplinary committee will review all available evidence, including official reports detailing the CSA and its head coach disregarding regulations applicable to suspended match officials and use of offensive language towards a CONCACAF match official. Okay, let's get into what we think we know. CONCACAF escorted Jesse Marsh to the area where he watched the game initially, and then during the match, a CONCACAF match official went back in there to say that he was not actually allowed there to watch. That's what I've been told by multiple sources, and the disagreement in question within that statement then took place during that game. That I can confirm from multiple sources. On the statement, they also talk about incidents. There's something else going on there. I'm not quite sure what it is. I've heard it might be something to do with how many Canadians were on the bench or down there, but I think the bigger story here is clearly CONCACAF and Jesse Marsh. Now, I've reached out to Canada Soccer to see what they want to do. They did give me a line where they are obviously reviewing everything and gathering the relevant information right now for submission to resolve the matter. Two things there. Submission, they have until Saturday to get all of the evidence back to CONCACAF. Obviously, they play on Saturday, so I'd expect news to come out on Sunday, after Jesse Marsh's initial second game suspension, by the way. And the other word for me is resolve. That's a great word. What Canada Soccer and CONCACAF, and quite frankly, all of us don't want here is another big storm. The focus needs to be on the team and the players. We'll be interested to see what kind of tone and line Jesse Marsh takes on Friday. We will meet with him at the Matchday -1 press conference. Does he speak about this, tell us what happened, or does he just take the professional line that the statement has come out and is under investigation? So we'll see about that.
So Christian Jack at One Soccer with your update on Jesse Marsh. So the other thing today, keep an eye on the Matchday -1 press conference involving Canada Soccer. To KJ's point, how does Jesse Marsh address it? Is he even going to be at the Matchday -1 because he is not going to be on the touchline for the matchup on Saturday? What the resolution is going to be, keep an eye on that. So there's a lot of stuff in play when it comes to Jesse Marsh, Canada Soccer, how many folks were where, who did what the discussion points are. So we'll find out. But that's where and Jason, for those of you that that watched and listened yesterday, I mean, Jesse Marsh to me has evolved into in this particular job that he holds currently. He's basically like the bad guy. He's the wrestling heel. And he has no problem getting in the good guy's face. Has no problem getting a microphone when a microphone is handed to him. and speaking his mind, whether it's about players being poisoned and not being able to be used in a timely fashion after their professional clubs were trying to win championships. And so he's drawing attention to himself. And you know, you wonder if it is in a way because the program is trying to go to new levels and new heights inside CONCACAF. While this growth curve is happening and while this growth spurt is happening, if Jesse Marsh is trying to distract all of us from what's going on the field by doing all the stuff off the field. You know, pay no attention to the action on the field. Pay attention to the shiny guy behind the curtain. Those kinds of things. Is it the art of distraction by Jesse Marsh to once again become beloved to the Canadian soccer fan and the Canadian soccer coverage industry? You know, no one's gonna pick on us anymore. It's not going to happen. And so you go to the extreme in your points of view, so folks can focus on, you know, the base level emotions attached to it, while he and his staff are working on what's going on the field. How much of this is the art of distraction? How much of this is the magic trick? And how much of this is actually stuff that Marsh is putting out there because that is what he believes? It's probably somewhere in the middle. But Jesse Marsh in trouble with CONCACAF. You've got another day. Keep an eye on the MD-1 as they're getting ready for their results in the Gold Cup and their next matchups in the Gold Cup. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on what is said and what isn't said, which is sometimes just as important in these situations as what isn't said. And Nix, you're right. Nix is absolutely right in this case. Jesse wanted the USMNT job so bad he'll be bitter forever. He absolutely will. And any chance he has to drag U.S. soccer, to poke the bear at U.S. soccer, to sit there and needle U.S. soccer, he's going to do it. But, you know, he's also working in the extremes when it comes to what he's saying, what he's doing, how he's acting, etc. And I think, Bart has officially at least recovered from his emails that he's had to catch up on because he was kind of busy. So, Bart, we played Christian Jack's update from Texas about the latest involving Jesse Marsh, and where, yeah, and I was basically making the point that this is as much him making noise to make sure that folks may not necessarily look at the growth curve that he wants Canada soccer to have, but it's, you know, hey, focus on the loud noise, and while we're working, focus on, you know, what's going on over here. But it looks like the first marker is the MD-1 today. Does he appear? What does he say? How does he say it? Mm-hmm. Next match is on the weekend, and then that's the second match in the initial suspension. Then what happens after the initial suspension is over? Does CONCACAF try to do something on Sunday when a lot of us are doing other things? And then you've got Monday to kind of sit there and go, oh, this happened yesterday. So there's a lot of ish in play here when it comes to the current Canada soccer situation in Jesse Marsh.
Well, first off, John, I have to get in happy West Virginia Day to all my Mountaineers out there.
Yes. There you go.
Now let's move on to the important stuff. Canada soccer just can't stop cheating. That's just what it comes down to, John. I hate to just kind of take that wrestling heel take on him or the shock jockey take. But, John, this is just a continuation of Canada soccer living outside the rules because they feel like they should just be able to because, oh, well, we're just nice little old Canada. And they just, you know,
nice
they just cheat.
Canada no more.
Yeah. You know, they're going to brag about a 5-0 win at home against, you know, a okay team. But the reality is this is continually not a good look for Canada soccer. By the way, a program on the men's side that has not won a trophy in 25 years, despite what they keep yapping about. So they're just really good at creating a lot of noise without actually producing anything. And, there's a high chance they'll knock us out in the semifinal as you look at the bracket. But winning a Gold Cup trophy seems to be the thing they can't do. Same as winning a game in a World Cup.
John Herdman. Yeah. Any chance that it's there to sit there and run smack on John Herdman? You know that we should do that.
Yeah. Is he allowed to coach soccer? Good Lord.
I don't know if he's still show cause or not.
Yeah. I don't know where that is for him.
I don't know. And I mean, it is intriguing. So last night, in addition to everything that you see, because you were kind of paying attention to like 98 different things that you have all week. You either have the Shepherd staff available at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the buck and a quarter staff. You've got that.
The lollipops, as they call them.
Yes. So do you get to keep the lollipop at the end?
No, we don't get to keep the lollipop.
Do you get to keep the thing at the top of the lollipop?
We don't get to keep any part of it. We get to keep the uniform and a Coke every day. That's what we get to keep.
Bleh.
Or Diet Coke or Sprite or Coke Zero, whatever.
I mean, but still, you just get a soda. It's like have a Coke and a smile. Have a Coke and a suit and shut up.
And we get fed as well, but we
Okay.
don't. I guess you don't take that home.
No. You hopefully get the chance to consume it while you're helping people. You were kind of busy doing that. Then you raced home to see the USMNT and Saudi Arabia, and one of the most daringly dressed coaches on this or any other planet. He's gunning for the coach's centerfold in the coach's calendar, Hervé Renard, and the special guest stars of the Gold Cup. How would you gauge what Saudi Arabia does when it comes to the world stage? It seems like they're just kind of the one that's going to sit there and cause a lot of trouble, and then by the end of it, there's always like that one moment where you sit there and go, man, they were close. And that seems to be like what we see from Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. How do you gauge special guest star status of Saudi Arabia?
Okay, well, let's take the first part of that question of just generally what are they doing on the world stage, and the reality is, I think when you look at when Qatar earned the bid to host the World Cup in 2022, I think the shock wasn't that it was going to an Arab peninsula nation. The shock was it wasn't going to Saudi Arabia, because I think a lot of people in the footballing world understood that Saudi had somewhat of a history with the game, had been at that point to a World Cup or two, and was a known quantity. I think also it helps that the country itself was fairly well known as opposed to Qatar. And I think they just always seem to be this team that you go, yeah, they're probably the best Arab nation. Is that true anymore? Depending on how you define Iran, probably not. I wouldn't, they would argue they're not Arab, but I think we include them in that
Middle Eastern,
yeah, Middle Eastern area. And so I think the other problem with this evaluation of Saudi is it's not quite their full team either, apparently. I don't know if they have quite the fourth string to fifth string to shouldn't be on the roster guys that the U.S. men's national team has, but it's very clear that was not their first choice team either. Again, some of their guys are playing in the big tournament happening here as well that FIFA made up. But it's been interesting to see they had a really good run, obviously, in 2022 that didn't really amount to anything, right? And I think that's exactly what you just described is, okay, they're fine. And last night, I think if you were a Saudi fan, would be very disappointed by how that team played, because it was I didn't realize they were that dirty. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was a fairly dirty match from Saudi Arabia. And when you look at the overall, I mean, they had a couple chances to score, but even then they were not because they did something beautiful. It was because Alex Freeman whiffed on a defensive clearance, or because someone happened to be out of position. It not necessarily because they broke down the U.S. attack, the U.S. defense with great passing. And whether that's what they want or not is one thing. They also sit at this weird stage, John, where they're someone's investing a lot of money in their domestic league, but for what? Because it's a very top-heavy league, both in the clubs themselves, but also on the roster, more top-heavy than MLS is. And I think that is the question that MLS is asking itself right now is, are we investing in the right areas? And I don't know if Saudi's investing in the right areas when it comes to player development, because they haven't necessarily been able to get that jump of player. They're just a hard team to kind of make out of. And then you add the fact that they're somehow in this tournament because CONCACAF can't say no to money, despite hosting a tournament every other month. And we're here.
So then that lends me to my next question before we get into roster analysis and overall play. So if Saudi Arabia played the way that they did, and I'm coming from this from the aspect of I didn't watch because we were doing our Club World Cup coverage. If Saudi Arabia came at this match the way that they did, and there were 17 fouls called, only 7 of them were called against Saudi Arabia in this match.
Yeah. It was interesting because there were multiple times where there was a very clear foul, in my opinion, committed on a U.S. player near the touchline, and the ref just gave a free kick. Gave a throw-in instead of giving a free kick. And it felt like there was a lot of that going on. There were a couple times where a ball may have gone out for a corner kick, and so they elected for that. It was very not a great refereeing performance. I don't feel like the U.S. was ever disadvantaged by it necessarily, because he did also allow a lot of play on. But there was just a lot of after the fact stuff, and they were doing my biggest pet peeve as a referee, where free kick's been called, the ball's been placed, and all of a sudden someone runs up right in front of it. And I think that should be an automatic yellow card regardless if the opponent kicks it or not, because that's clearly disrespecting the distance on a free kick. And, it's just a lot of stuff like that. And it was really annoying, and it didn't really add to what was otherwise, especially the first half, a pretty boring game.
In front of 11,727, Marco Ortiz from Mexico, the man in the middle, Michel Morales, Jorge Sanchez, your ARs, Brian Lopez from Guatemala was your fourth, your VAR, Oscar Mejia from Mexico, and also upstairs was Benjamin Pineda from Costa Rica. Stats, shots, 5-3, shots on target, 3-1, 3 saves on the night, 2 for Saudi Arabia, 1 for Matt Freese, who wasn't really challenged, 6 corners, 4 to the U.S., 6 offside, 3 on each possession, 2-1 to the United States. So, as we always do in these situations, in front of 11,727 at Q2.
Can I talk about that real quick?
I like this is your segment. I just line up the topics.
John, and this is not necessarily U.S. Soccer's fault, but I'm lumping them into this because they can do something about it as well.
Yeah.
What the hell are these ticket prices? There was some get-in price of $97 for this. Yeah, are you kidding me?
Yeah, so a family of 4 has to drop 5 bills.
Yeah, that's not insane. That's just plain stupid, right? And you see this Gold Cup is poorly attended across the board. Mexico's not selling out their games. Canada's not selling out their games in Canada. The U.S. is, somehow PayPal had a better attendance. I think that may be because it was on a Sunday, but we're playing in Arlington on Sunday, John.
Yep.
The big stadium.
Yep.
Jerry's house.
Mm-hmm.
The one with the hole in it so God can see. Oh wait, no, that was the old stadium. That is, I really hope CONCACAF takes a good hard look at itself and the pricing for these games, because especially now that these aren't a lot of double headers either. At least when they do some double headers, you can kind of see why they're pricing it for quote 2 matches, even though no one's attending 2 matches. I do like that they're trying to move away from so many double headers, but I do think that they need to look at double headers as the option for, say, the Trinidad Haiti match being a double header with another lower tier match. it's just that it's, as Mateo says, Austin has hosted 6 games since that stadium opened. A lot of those are competitive matches. They've had a couple of Gold Cup games. They had a World Cup qualifier, Nations League. But U.S. Soccer is doing a terrible job of trying to create excitement around this team right now. And one of those issues is ticket pricing. And as much as and I have friends who work for U.S. Soccer and will tell me that you can go to a U.S. Soccer game for $25. And that's just not true, because when you have to drop the price down to $25 just to get someone in, then because you priced it too high to begin with, that's bad pricing strategy, FIFA. And that has been a plague on the build up to this World Cup. Everything is expensive, and it's bullshit expensive. Sorry, John, we're blowing
There's the E rating that a boy.
But the problem that I have with it is it's just constant. This is this is leaning into a political rant, so I do apologize. It's again jacking up the cost of something that has no actual cost associated with it, right? The cost of opening that stadium does not justify, right, the cost of these tickets. It does not cost $90 a person to operate that stadium. It just can't be, and so we're artificially inflating prices because we're greedy, and StubHub has to get their cut, or SeatGeek, sorry, not StubHub, SeatGeek has to get their cut, CONCACAF has to get their cut, the nations have to. You're just greedy, and when you only get 11,000 people in there, that's the sign that people aren't willing to pay these prices, but they think it's fine because they probably hit a revenue target. And they need to shift from a revenue target to an attendance target, from revenue to engagement. Because if people are engaged, if you have 20,000 people in there at $50 a ticket, right? That's your average. You know what those 20,000 people are doing now? They're buying concessions. They're buying merch. They're maybe coming to the game the next time because it's just cheaper. But when your get-in price is double that, you're losing out on other revenue streams. And that, to me, is just the moronic strategy that they're going through right now. And I don't get it. And I fully do blame U.S. Soccer. They are part of this. They are the host nation. They can help with this. We're seeing it at the Club World Cup where they're pricing these games mainly because they think FIFA, I think, thinks too highly of itself. And Gianni Infantino, who is turning out to be a worse president than Sepp Blatter, and I will go on record to say that, is just trying to ruin the game because everything needs to be a 48 team. They're talking about a 48 team Club World Cup. You just had one that no one's attending, you doofus. What are you doing? And now you're trying to then also do it again in the United States? You are an idiot. He's a greedy dumbass is what he is right now. And he's trying to milk people dry that ain't got stuff we ain't got no milk left, okay? The problem is they want corporations to be part of these matches, not people. And you're losing the fans. You're going to ruin the product. You're putting it on a service that no one knows about. You're putting it on in noon and 3 p.m. on work days for the local audience, and then blaming them for not showing up because holy crap, you can't dare make the European audience stay up, I don't know, till 9 p.m., 10 p.m. to start a match. Good heavens, good Lord, how dare the European audience have to adjust their schedule for something? Spoiled brats is what they are. And it's just ruining the experience for everyone. I mean, yesterday we had, 35,000 less than that?
Yeah, it's like 31 and change, yeah.
For the best player in the world to show up, against a legitimate European opponent.
Yeah.
It's dumb. Yeah, and then we get a 9 p.m. match on a Sunday. Just dumb. Whoever is making these decisions clearly is an idiot. And that's just all I can say, John. I'm sorry. These are idiotic decisions. And as Forrest Gump's mama would say, Mom always said, stupid is as stupid does. These are stupid decisions because they keep making them over and over and over again. And it's very clear. If it's not stupid, it's greedy. And I'll let you pick which one you want it to be.
The Knicks made a point, and I went back and looked, and I mentioned the man in the middle, Marco Ortiz.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
For those that may not remember, back in February, he was banned from officiating in CONCACAF competitions for 6 months. So he has until the end of August to not do a CONCACAF match. After asking for Lionel Messi for his autograph, CONCACAF opened disciplinary actions against Ortiz Nava after he approached Messi after the Messi and Friends win at Sporting on February 19, asking for his autograph for a family member with special needs. So he Ortiz refereed Friday's Mexican League match in late February against Puebla and Xolos, continue officiating in Liga MX, serving the ban. Same source said that ESPN told ESPN at the time Ortiz Nava, if he does reoffend, he would be punished indefinitely. So, same dude that got the autograph from Messi in Kansas City in the Arctic conditions back in February. So it was that dude. So good catch by Nix. Absolutely good catch.
Yeah. Didn't do himself any favors last night to get assignments.
No. All right. So rolling through the numbers, and you can roll through them as much as you want or as little as you want. We'll play cliffhanger today. Matt Freeze, not really challenged. So our friends at Soccer America, and this time around, it is Mike Woitala. Mike Woitala gave him a 5. It's just like, it's just,
Yeah, I guess. I'll give. I thought he was pretty good. I'll give one critique. There is and this is like nitpicking.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think he does, I think it's very clear that there is an open tryout for the number 1 position here.
Yeah.
The end of the game, he comes to claim a cross, and he tries to play too quickly after he claims that cross. He needs to. I mean, we're talking like 93rd, 4th minute. Grab the ball, lay down on the ground a little bit, fix your shin guards, get up, and then play. Do the old. That is one of those things that maybe with a little experience he picks that up. But that's like nitpicking. Made a good save. That was it. He really didn't do much at all.
There you go. So once again, unchallenged. And so then we get into the back line, look at the defenders, and one of the defenders in particular, he had a moment last night, courtesy of our friends at Fox Soccer.
Berhalter stands over the free kick. Tillman runs away. Berhalter hooking it in. It's Richards. It's in! And the U.S. does use the set piece. It's Chris Richards, his second ever goal. And the U.S. finally breaks through against Saudi Arabia.
So it was Chris Richards, the pride of Birmingham, Alabama. And Chris Richards gets a 9 last night from Mike Woodcock. Alex Freeman a 5, Tim Ream got a 6, Max Arfston gets a 6.
Richards was man of the match outside of that goal. Max Arfston, boy, this is running into Brooks Lennon territory where the dude had led the team with 88 touches, 1 chance created. All right. That when I say getting into Brooks Lennon territory, I mean a guy who's getting a high volume of attacking touches and not producing anything out of it. Sorry, Brooks. I'll save my Atlanta United analysis for later. But Max Arfston, bro, 88 touches. You got to do more with that. Your passing accuracy was below 90. It was 83%. It's not good enough. You're not successful in your take-ons enough, but I mean, one shot, it was blocked. Like, it's just, come on, man. Like, you have to do better if you're going to be getting that much attention on the ball. Did not connect on a single cross. Now, part of that, I will say, we'll talk about a guy coming up later, but it's not good enough. I do not understand why he keeps getting played. I just don't. He is not at this level. I thought he had an okay game last night. He's just not at this level. Sorry.
Midfielders. Malik Tillman, invisible, according to Woitala during the first half. Diego.
Yeah. Sorry.
No,
Tillman and Luna. We'll lump them together because they were both invisible. Not a good game for them.
Yep. De La Torre, he's proved able to maneuver past his marker to bring the ball upfield, only from deep on the U.S. side of the field. Only first half shot came from McGlynn when he provided the cross that Ajimang headed into the hands of Alakidi from 8. Another rare midfield delivery into danger came from Berhalter's free kick, assisting in the game winner. Bunch of average stuff. McGlynn gets a 5. De La Torre and Tillman 4s. Berhalter gets a 6. Diego Luna got a 5.
I'm struggling to figure out how to evaluate Sebastian Berhalter because I think the set piece delivery has been really good. I think that is, if there's one thing we learned from this Gold Cup, it's Christian Pulisic is not a set piece taker anymore for this team. I don't know who is, but holy cow, the set piece delivery has been markedly better during this Gold Cup. He gets a great ball in for that free kick to give the assist to Chris Richards. Barely onside, but still onside because the knee is a playable part of the body. But I just don't know what else he's really bringing to the table and how much that will change when he's challenged against a team like, say, Costa Rica or Canada. So I am still holding my evaluation for that.
Up top, the starting forward, Mike Waitala saith, quote, "The Saudis robbed the ball from Patrick Adjumong in the penalty area 3 times in the first 50 minutes, during which his short glimpse at goal ended with an easily saved header. Pochettino finally provided Adjumong a frontline partner, Damian Downs, in the 62nd, but the Saudis continued to contain Adjumong. Adjumong, as a starter from Waitala, got a 3.
John, if I were to ask you what you think Pat Adjumong's traits were, his positive traits as a soccer player were, what would those be?
Under normal circumstances, I would.
Nope, just tell me. Just tell me.
I would hope that size and power would be 2 of them.
Yeah. If you're going to be the big guy up front and you're getting dispossessed every single time the ball comes to you, you're not able to hold up the ball very well. You had 1 or 2 opportunities for it. His touch is not good. He doesn't turn on the ball well. And if your only thing you're able to do is run people over, but you don't have the ball and don't make anything of it, you're useless. I'm sorry. I'm done with him. That sounds really harsh, but man, I don't know what we're doing here. I just don't. Look, if the message is you're trying to send a message to Josh Sargent that he's replaceable, that message is you're safe.
Subs, Tyler Adams gets a 6, Damian Downs a 5, Brendan Aronson a 4, Miles Robinson and Johnny, because they were cups of coffee.
Oh, I forgot Miles even came in. That's how late it was. Yeah,
they got cups of coffee, so they didn't have ratings for Miles and Johnny. So there you
go. Good to see Johnny on the field. He and Tyler have been kind of sick or hurt. Same with Damian Downs. So good that they're back. I think that alone is the positive out of all those subs. I thought Damian Downs was better than a 5. I'll be real honest. He had it didn't lead to anything. I will admit that. But when one of his first actions when he comes on the field was just an amazingly darting run that moved around defenders. Great pass into him. I want to say it was Tillman. I can't remember. And he's in on goal. Unfortunately, a Saudi defender, I think the right back at that time, just sprints back and is able to make a challenge on the ball. But a very lucky challenge, because if he's half a second or so late, it's a free kick. And it was just you could see, again, I hate to lump on Pat, but we needed that speed and those smart runs the entire game because they were there. And Damian comes in and makes just a very nice run at pretty good pace. And we find him in behind. You do 1 or 2 more of that a game, you've got an actual shot on goal. And Pat had opportunities to do that. Nothing came of it. And you could just see the brightness that he could bring to a team. And again, I'm done with Pat. I don't want to see him start again. I just don't understand what we're doing here because he's clearly not up to this level. If it's just he's trying to figure it out and we're giving him time to figure it out. Stop it.
All right. Well, then let me play devil's advocate here. How much of this is service into Big Pat? And
he got service, John. He got service. So to answer your question, he got a lot of service.
Okay.
He got multiple times where he got ball to his feet in and around the top of the box. Nothing came of it.
Okay. And so that in these situations where I'm having you defend your position, I'm going to take the flip argument and have
it's fine. Now, I will say in the first half, service was not good because Tillman and Luna weren't great. I think, unfortunately, we're seeing that Jack McClellan is not a winger, and he's not a winger, John, because he's not fast. Unfortunately for Jack, everything else about his soccer game is fantastic. The dude, the problem is in soccer, if you're a tortoise, you're not going to win the race. You're just not as a winger.
Unless you're Sergi Busquets, yeah.
Well, exactly, not as a winger, right? And so if I think Jack needs to watch some Busquets film and figure out how to play soccer as a dude who runs, I don't know, slower than
occasionally.
Yeah, he runs occasionally, and I mean Jack runs. I'm not saying he doesn't run; he's just not very fast. It's kind of funny to watch. And so I do agree that in the first half, Pat's service was not great, but he still got several times where a ball was played to him, and it was lost. And that's also the issue of if you're playing a ball into him for someone to either run off of him or just combine in the slightest bit, and he's not able to hold it up because his first touch is bad or he gets dispossessed too easily, then that's also going to hurt a guy like Luna or Tillman or even McGlynn. So again, John, great story. Seems like a great guy. I don't know what we're doing here. And if it's, we're trying to get him, we see the talent, but we just got to get him acclimated. There are other players who are younger, by the way, than Pat. That's the thing. He's not young. He's 24. Okay. He's not young. Damian Downs is much younger. I'd rather invest that time of him getting used to the international game into a guy who is already at a level above him and has the potential to be multiple steps ahead of him, especially when you're looking at the fact that Pat's nowhere close to the top 4 depth chart. He just isn't. He's at least 5th. I'm sorry, he just is. 6th if you want to count some other. I mean, he's just not there, right? And when you have your top 2 strikers hurt, and then you intentionally leave your 3rd best striker at home to teach him a lesson or whatever, send him a message. Sorry. Then you're just manufacturing reasons why he's here. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. He's been fine in MLS, but he has not proven at this stage to be an effective striker for this team. Great that he showed up in January camp. Love that he had the one, opportunity he created for himself in Nations League, but on the whole, it's not good enough.
I thank you for the quick note in the middle of your rant. I've taken care of complimentary punishment D. I don't know where complimentary punishments 1 through 4 are.
Yeah.
But we've taken care of complimentary punishments.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. All right. So in between now and Monday, we will have talking points involving Haiti and the matchup at Jerry World at 7:00. What is your early anticipation of Haiti and the U.S.?
I do think Haiti has had an unlucky this tournament. I think they've been better than a loss and a draw. Obviously, they got a red card in their game yesterday, which I think hindered their ability to win that game against Trinidad. But I'll also say from the U.S. perspective, it wouldn't surprise me if we see a lot of changes, mainly because it seems like some guys are back to health. So Tyler Adams back healthy. At least healthy enough to play basically I think he played 35 minutes. I forget exactly what the total was. You have Johnny Cardoso back in the mix. You have Damian Downs healthy again. Haji Wright should be back to answer the question. Apparently he got married. Right. I feel like we could have used him last night. So I'm curious what changes will be made, because I think for 2 reasons. 1, you have some players coming back, and 2, this is a shorter turnaround than Sunday, Thursday. This is Thursday, Sunday, so you really only have 2 full days off as opposed to 3. Now, granted, you get a whole week off between the group stage and the knockout rounds, which is nice, but it wouldn't surprise me if Pochettino rotates anticipatorially of that break right? Just saying, okay, well, let's give some people some more days off. Also, you've got the knockouts wrapped up. And while Haiti is a good team, as Mateo points out, yeah, some good pace. The guys that I would like to see, in my opinion, are upgrades over the guys that are on the field. Tolkien, Adams, Downs are the three that I would want to put up there. Even Wright, depending on what his fitness level is after getting married. Hopefully, he didn't expend all of his energy last night.
Look, didn't hurt Bob Beeman. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, there you go. Or maybe it's a boost. I don't know. Regardless, I think the guys that you could bring in to rotate are upgrades, and I would like to see them because what we didn't talk about, John, this was the same starting lineup as the Trinidad game, and I do think that is a positive. I think one of the biggest critiques I would say of this program for the last year has been the maybe 9 months there's been a very inconsistent starting 11. So the fact that you started the same, from game to game is fine. Like, I'm fine with that. But there are 3 to 4 to maybe 5 positions that I would like to see the next guy up, or who, my opinion is, the guy in front of them start actually. And Abby, I don't think he'll keep the same lineup, mainly because I do think part of it is you need to play Tyler Adams more than the 30 minutes he got to see if he's healthy, right? I definitely think we need to see John Tolkien, who apparently also has some fitness issues. Who knows? Apparently our players can't play more than 20 minutes without getting hurt. But there are guys that I would like to see. I mean, again, I don't want Pat Ajimang to start. So is it Downs? Is it Wright? I don't know. As much as I love Jack McGlynn, I would like to see an actual winger play on the wing. So I just would like to see some changes too, because I feel like we're not at our strongest 11 anyway. And they got 2 wins. That's great. You don't have to beat Haiti. You don't even have to. You can lose to Haiti and still win the group, depending on.
Don't encourage, sir.
I'm not, but you don't have to beat them. You certainly don't have to beat them by a lot. Any win is good, and I think you can beat Haiti if you put Tyler Adams on the field, right? if you put Tyler Adams on the field for 45 minutes for the first 45, you should beat Haiti, right? If you put Tyler Adams out there, I think if you put John Tolkien out there, I think you're looking at a pretty convincing first half performance, personally. And maybe you put Haji Wright up there, and maybe he plays on the left, and you put either Tillman or Luna maybe on the right. And now you've got a little bit more of an actual, what I would say is a better going forward attacking lineup. I would love to see McGlynn start next to Adams, John, because again, I think McGlynn is better at that central midfield role. I know he's played a little bit different role for Houston this year. I think McGlynn needs to play next to Tyler Adams and let Tyler do the running and let Jack McGlynn do the
Busquetsing.
The fun stuff, right? And I think, especially if you get a guy like Wright, Downs, and Luna, maybe Tillman, whoever, on the right wing, I think that would give you more, I'm going to use a Greg Berhalter term, so I'm sorry, more verticality to stretch a Haiti team that is talented, not necessarily organized.
Okay, well, obviously we'll have our Gold Cup rejoin with you on Monday. I do have 2 reffing down here moments before we get out of here for you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, and they both have to do with moments from the match yesterday at Mercedes-Benz. The Samu penalty kick specifically.
Mm-hmm.
What is the guideline about momentum starting and stopping runs and runs up in a penalty kick? Other than it being apparently discretion of the dude that holds the cards, but what is the letter of the law when it comes to starting and stopping in penalty kick situations for the person attempting the kick?
All right, I'll run through it with you.
Thank
Law
you.
14, the penalty kick.
Yes.
The ball must be stationary, with part of the ball touching or overhanging the center of the penalty mark. And the goal posts, crossbar, and goal net must not be moving. The player taking the penalty kick must be clearly identified. The player taking the penalty kick must kick the ball forward. Backheeling is permitted provided the ball moves forward, which is weird. There is no. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
They have to kick the ball forward.
Okay.
And so this is something I would like to change about the laws of the game.
Sure.
I think we should add the player taking the kick must be clearly identified. The kick must move forward. The kicker must not stop his run up. I think that would be a very I just think that it must be a continuous
action.
Right. That you can go slow, you can take big steps that kind of maybe you do a stutter step, but I think the stopping is what, for me as a goalkeeper, is what really puts you at a disadvantage, right? Especially because in this game, we give a lot of penalty kicks for fouls that aren't leading to a goal, to just be quite honest. There's fouls on the edges of penalty areas that are, that moment there is never leading to an actual goal. And you're giving an insane amount of advantage to the attacking team, to the kicker. I would love to see some sort of thing about momentum, about, no stopping, whatever, added to the laws of the game.
Okay.
I think that would do more for the game than, I don't know, making the goalkeeper only have 8 seconds and you have to count down to be a little weird, and then hey, you get a corner kick out of it. Although I don't mind that, I think that is a weird. Yeah. That is an almost NFL level type of manipulation of the rule that I don't love.
Yep. Yeah, we actually saw that in the Club World Cup.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Okay. So, and I know that keepers will love you for the rest of time, since you've maintained that should be added to the laws of the game. The other one has to do with a foul, and it literally has to do with the Messi free kick. Because of the foul taking place just at the edge of the 18, inside the arc. Lionel Messi, to his credit, and it's something he's done throughout his entire career, takes the ball, moves the ball back away from the spot of the foul, a good 4 yards, and plays.
If I'm correct, John.
Yeah.
I do think the center official told him to back up.
Okay.
I don't, because this is one of the few moments I actually got to watch.
Yeah.
Because I was doing my job.
You were holding your lollipop, sir. Yeah.
I was holding the lollipop, John. I think I saw the referee back him up. Now, I will agree. I think Messi backed it up a little too much.
Yeah. So,
and
when it comes,
when
it comes to protocol in a moment like this, so let's just take the movement backward as the act, regardless of the distance that is instilled. Because from my perspective, he was fouled at the edge of the 18, backed it up a good 4 yards outside of the arc, fouled inside the arc at the edge of the 18, moves it back to being outside of the arc. And so instead of it being 19, it's 23. And we all know what happened. Yeah. When it comes to moving the ball back, and yes, I just did use air quotes, what is protocol involving a player voluntarily moving the ball back away from the spot of the foul, not giving a player a distance advantage, but giving themselves the advantage of being more comfortable with the distance they give themselves away from the spot of the foul?
So, according to the laws of the game, Law 13, free kicks, the procedure, all free kicks are taken from the place where the offense occurred. Yeah. And it lists through some exceptions, but that doesn't apply here. What I will also say is where the offense occurred is not arbitrary, but it isn't exact.
Okay.
Because unlike the NFL, for example, where you have several referees and two of whose job it is to stay on a line and really give you a good idea of where it was according to the hash marks.
Okay.
It's hard to be like, oh, it was this blade of grass. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And I also think in this particular instance, it seemed like there were multiple fouls, or at least multiple
opportunities to call a foul.
Multiple foul opportunities, whistle opportunities. And it did seem like the official opted for an earlier foul. And by earlier, I mean like slightly previous.
In the time, in the timeline, the progression of
I think it was Messi dribbling. I forget who it was dribbling.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Beat 2 or 3 guys, all of whom got a chop on him because it is Porto.
Yeah.
And I think he called it on the second to last guy. Because I don't know how much of the foul was on the final player. I mean, I think it was a foul, but I think it seemed more like he did give it for an earlier infraction.
Yeah.
And so to your point, I think they did back it up. I think Messi then took it a yard or 2 back. And the answer, John, I haven't answered it yet, is it's supposed to be where the offense occurred.
Yeah.
However, I think in that case, I'm trying to remember, I don't know if the referee put down his little magic spray.
I don't
said this is where it is.
I don't remember magic spray, no.
So in that case, shockingly, the referee gave Messi an advantage on something, and didn't really have a protocol to back it up for any sanction.
Okay.
Now, there would be no sanction other than hopefully recognizing it before it happens and saying, no, it's here. But, and this is theoretical stuff, how often do you see a free kick taken? Say there's a foul. Say Brooks Lennon gets fouled.
Sure.
On the right wing, right? The ball is dispossessed, goes back to, who's that? Derek Williams.
Sure.
About 5 yards behind.
Okay.
Derek takes the ball, kind of spins it forward a little bit, but we're ready to go.
Okay.
It still ends up being about 3 yards behind where the foul was.
Right, yeah.
It's not exactly the same situation, but as a referee, that's not a battle I'm fighting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I mean, I would posit that if you are on defense converting to offense in your Atlanta United, in your Atlanta,
I get what you're saying.
In your Atlanta United player example, if you are defense converting to offense and defense starting the other way, you get your foul. That to me would be different in my interpretation of Derek taking his time spinning the ball, you know, and then Brad waves him off and whatever, versus a set piece opportunity where offense is in the final third and it is a set piece where you are taking a chance at goal as opposed to something that just had a quick turnover and the game got the chance to slow down a little bit off of a foul. So I'm looking at
I get what you're saying.
Defensive transition versus offensive set pieces.
I would just say that most of the time I'm not going to argue with the team who cedes field position.
Right.
And again, I think first off, he identified a foul previously in that sequence.
Okay.
And looked like he backed him up.
Okay.
If Messi then took a yard or 2 back and the referee didn't see it, that is what it is, especially because the ref did not put from – I'm really trying to remember, and I don't remember him doing the magic spray thing.
I don't think
and at that point, you are allowing the player to move it up or back, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And so I do think that was probably a little bit of a procedural error on the account of the referee, but that's not VAR-able. It's not like clear and obvious of, oh, well, the foul was exactly right here. And then the referee said it's right here, but you took it from right here. That's just not a clear and obvious error of any of those things.
It's like 6 feet of geography that you're dickering over.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's just not something that's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, Abby's maintaining that, and this is something that in all of the chaos that's going on around the center ref, the center ref has to make sure that he uses the magic spray halo to sit there and it's like, okay, ball goes here.
Yeah, especially during what is very obviously what we call ceremonial free kick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I do agree in that sense that, like, I think when you go through the procedure of a ceremonial free kick, one of those needs to be, the ball is here. Here's the magic spray. Put the ball here.
Yeah.
Okay. because that's also where you're marking your wall from.
Yeah, and you're going back 10, and so you're okay. Yeah.
And while we've seen players move a ball up a little bit, some even wipe the vanishing spray away. And
Ivan Toney.
Cheaters. But that is, again, part of that ceremonial procedure of kick is here, put it right there. Yeah. Let me start my 1, 2, 3 big step. Here we go.
Yeah.
And so to your point, John, it isn't something that we're going to stop a free kick over and retake in this instance, because there's no clear marking of where that free kick should have been.
And in the grand scheme of things, you're kind of looking at like 98 different things, and it's like you're not focused on Messi rolling the ball back a couple of yards.
Right.
You're looking at players and jostling and elbows and walls and all these other things. And if Messi backs it up and you're focused on what's going on this way and Messi's working behind you, you're not working on this stuff. You're working on this stuff.
And that's, that's the problem, right? Is that he's trying to set up a wall that has a guy lying behind it that has players also from the other team around there. That is all going into this that you're trying to manage. And weirdly, the last thing you're worried about is the greatest player in the world putting it on the exact blade of grass that he needs to. And, that's why he's also the greatest player in the world. He knows how to manipulate the situation.
Yes, and have the situation go to his advantage. We will catch up with you again 10 o'clock on Monday. Yes. Do you need a note for class to get you back in?
No, I obviously took off yesterday. One, it should be a holiday because it's Juneteenth and we should celebrate that. But two, obviously I was doing other things on that Thursday. So it was fun to see some of the folks, Atlanta United folks that I know volunteering as well, meeting some cool people who are all Atlanta United fans, but aren't necessarily in part of the crazy soccer people that I know, realizing that I think we all maybe have a little bit of a psychosis, I think is what I've gathered.
Oh, no.
I think we all might be a little crazy, John.
No.
Maybe they're crazy.
No, we're just enjoying everything.
It's great. It's been fun. It really has been. Shout out to everyone else volunteering. You are making the tournament go well, and I think that is something you need to know. It's been fun, John, and I'm there Sunday night, so I will say I might be very tired on Monday morning.
You and me both.
Yeah.
This is going to be a late night for you.
Yeah, because 9 o'clock on a Sunday. Why would we schedule at 9 o'clock on a Sunday when we have noon, 3, and 6 that we could play it at, John?
Oh, I don't know. It's for that West Coast audience that can see Manchester City.
That West Coast audience for that Manchester City versus Saudi.
Yeah, Al Ain match
or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely true.
I don't get it.
Yeah, and so obviously all of our love is sent to everybody up at Fairmont and Triadelphia.
Thank you,
West Virginia.
I am lucky that my friends in Fairmont are safe. But it's been another rough one for the Mountain State, and it is West Virginia Day, so shout out to West Virginia and everything and everyone up there.
Yep, and probably know that I'm probably going to be adding Fairmont State soccer gear to my stacks when it comes to fundraisers and such. There comes the police. They're coming after you. That means that you've got to go and go get lunch, and we'll see you Monday, my friend.
All right, y'all. Have a good Friday.
Yes, what he said. He's going to enjoy his West Virginia mug. It is WBGV Day, West by God, Virginia. So obviously thinking about everybody up in Triadelphia and Fairmont and everybody that's affected by the floods up there. But just send your love their way, and to anybody that you may know that is West Virginia adjacent, we'll keep an eye on that. Glad that Michael got to do the walkout, or got to see. He's 2 feet away from him. So that's the kind of the cool thing about the volunteering. You never know what the moments are that you're going to experience. So Michael got to hang out with that Messi guy and be close to him. Very, very cool stuff there. And it's going to be cool for the remainder of this tournament for the 4 matches that we have left at Mercedes-Benz, plus what's going to happen in the build-up, getting ready for when the World comes here this time next year. So we'll keep an eye on all of that. Let's see. Del, we did talk about the officiating at the beginning of the segment with the official that Jason Nix pointed out very, very well, is the one currently under CONCACAF suspension for asking Messi to sign gear. So 17 fouls, 10 of them called on the U.S. And so nothing happened. So we'll see what happens with Mr. Ortiz going forward. But, yes, we did kind of just discuss that he only called 17 fouls, and considering that Saudi Arabia was the more authoritative in their defending, that they were the one that got called the least. So there you go. So, and absolutely true. Knicks, Volunteers are the heart of the tournament. You absolutely are. And let's see. So Michael's going to be there for the remainder of the matches. Abby gets to go watch. And but you were there. You're still hanging out in and around Messi. How about that? But yeah, still very, very cool. A couple of other things before we let you know what to watch, where to watch it, how to watch it. Let's clear out the sound that we have from the matchups. You got to hear from Fafa Picault, and here is Sebastian Berhalter after the match. Here's his quick interview with Jenny Taft, courtesy of our friends at Fox Soccer. Provided I hit the button.
And a first career international assist for Sebastian Berhalter. Congratulations. It was a beautiful set piece. And the guys in studio calling the match, just talking about how effective you've been with the set piece. How would you kind of describe your ability to play that role and be effective?
Yeah, it's something I've been working on, with in Vancouver and training, and something they harped on that, the coaching staff said, this year I could be one of the best set piece takers in MLS, and that's something I've been trying to put the work in, and it's paying off.
What was your reaction to the second half, the adjustments that were made, but really the fight that you saw from your teammates to ultimately get it done?
Yeah, I think we dug deep. I think the guys that came on had a big impact too. Seeing Tyler out there, it gives me energy too. His tenacity and his fight. It's fun to play with Johnny coming in, everyone coming in, closing in the game. It's what it's about. Maybe a little bit better control, especially towards the end, but it's a good result.
This has been a big opportunity for you, right? How would you describe it right now, this experience where you are at personally with this opportunity?
I mean, just taking it one game at a time. I'm living the dream. This is an honor playing for this country, so just trying to give it 110% every time I step in the field.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Jenny. Appreciate it.
So that's $2 in the jar for Sebastian Berhalter, going double cliche at the end of the last soundbite. So Sebastian Berhalter with the assist on the goal scored by Chris Richards. And here's Jenny Taft catching up with Tyler Adams after the match at Q2 last night.
Tyler, it's great to have you back in the mix. And I got to start with just the physicality. Obviously, Pochettino has talked about wanting to see the fight from you guys. How did you believe your guys answered that call and handling it tonight?
Yeah, we definitely answered the call. A lot of guys going out there and competing at a high level tonight, and I think that the performance speaks for itself. There's not so many amazing moments, but sometimes you have to play games like that where you have to find that one moment where we're going to break them down and be able to score a goal, and Chris obviously scored a great set piece. Sebastian Berhalter obviously with an amazing set piece, so good at set pieces, and everyone was just out there competing for one another.
You were out there nursing a little bit of an injury until tonight. How good did it feel to be back? You have so much experience and leadership with this crew.
Yeah, no, great to be back. I just love watching these boys go out there and compete. It's an opportunity for so many guys, and so many guys have taken it. So any role that I'm able to play in being a leader, and obviously my experience and quality speaks for itself, but I just want to be able to go out there and help the team.
You guys are through. What's next? What do you want to work on right now?
Yeah, obviously we have one more game in the group against Haiti. I think we're going to be able to work on a lot of good things in that game. So it'll be another tough opponent, but we don't want to look too far ahead. One more game in the group.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
Tyler Adams, Jenny Taft, courtesy of our friends at Fox Soccer. USA was a minus 185, finally broke through with under 30 minutes to go. One of the things I forgot to ask Bart about was the idea that the U.S. men's national team, the coaching staff, Mauricio Pochettino, was confident that if they maintained their intensity that they had started out with in the first 45 minutes and they maintained it over a full 90, that there would be no issue in beating Saudi Arabia. Put a bookmark in this thought where I don't think that you saw the same intensity, and that has been the common thread over that full 90 minutes. You did get your one moment, which is what you needed, which is really it. You get the one moment, you get the goal off the set piece, you win 1-0. So intensity over a full 90 minutes, something to keep an eye on going forward. Anticipated, desired by the coaching staff, and I don't think they got it in the matchup against Saudi Arabia, but they were the superior team, big enough to win, and you got the Duke. So at minus 185, you get the win. Today, 7:45 and 10 o'clock, it is Jamaica and Guadeloupe at 7:45. Jamaica at a minus 208. Guadeloupe at a plus 542. Draws a plus 325. Guatemala, Panama. Panama is a minus 175. Favorited. Guatemala is a plus 474. Draws a plus 293, and that's changed. As we're talking, Guatemala is down to a plus 467 in the composite, courtesy of our friends at Odds Portal. Your draws a plus 289. Tomorrow, Canada, big favorite against Curacao at a minus 417. Honduras is a minus 125 hosting El Salvador. Then on Sunday, 22nd, 22nd, you've got 4 matches, simultaneous starts. 7 o'clock, Saudi Arabia, big favorite against Trinidad and Tobago at a minus 455. TNT is a plus 982 right now. USA is a minus 263 hosting Haiti. Haiti is close to a plus 600, draws a plus 380. Dominican Republic and Suriname, the juice box purveyors have thrown a blanket over the whole thing. Basically, both teams within the margin of error with one another to win in and around plus 151. Draws a plus 252. Mexico, a minus 182 hosting against Costa Rica at a plus 440. Your draw is a plus 301. So that's your Gold Cup juice boxes. Looking at the standings, just so you know what you have going in. Right now, Mexico, Costa Rica, 2 wins. Dominican Republic, Suriname, 2 losses in Group A. Canada right now at 3 points. They were the team that beat Honduras 6-0, which I think was the surprise, or one of the surprises in the opening round. El Salvador, Curacao, the other equally surprising 1-1 draw. But Canada right now at 3 points. El Salvador, Curacao at 1 point. Honduras, no points in Group B. Also 1 match in Group C. Panama, Guatemala, Jamaica, Guadeloupe. Panama, Guatemala wins. Jamaica, Guadeloupe did not. Group D, USA, 2 wins, 6 points ahead of Saudi Arabia, a win and a loss. Haiti and TNT have some work to do, both with a draw against each other and a point in the tournament. Okay, what to watch, where to watch it, how to watch it, gossip, rumor, and innuendo before we get out of here for work. And yes, the boss ran into Michael, since Michael's about a 5-iron from Office HD. Michael got to see Maddie and Sophia in the photo room yesterday, and so it's fun for me to see how the worlds kind of combine. So very, very cool there that Michael got to see Maddie and Sophia early on. Nick said that they got water bottles from the Uniform Distribution Center. May have grabbed a writing implement from the Uniform Distribution Center. So, yes, the pen, PIN versus the writing implement. So Nick's apparently has a writing implement and got his water bottles from the UDC. Okay. Gossip, rumor, and innuendo, what to watch, where to watch it, how to watch it. Looks like Mikhailo Mudryk. We didn't get a chance to talk about this, and I don't know if Jason addressed it yesterday. Looks like John Fisher is setting up the possibility of selling the San Jose Earthquakes. So a lot of conventional wisdom is that he will be taking those funds to help finance the baseball stadium that is planned in Las Vegas for the team that is not supposed to be referred to by their old town, or even in instances by their new town. So we'll see about that. See how long that goes. Okay, so today, Chelsea are planning to hijack Newcastle's move for Joao Pedro. That's from the 3-letter paper. Once again, take your information at your own peril. Chelsea and Noni Madueke is on the radar of a host of clubs this season, including Arsenal this summer. Liverpool yet to receive any bids for Darwin Nunez, the latest Premier League player linked to a move to Serie A's Napoli. Also, 4-letter paper, Liverpool keen on signing Mark Gahey from Crystal Palace. Manchester United need to significantly increase their offer for Brian Mbeumo if they want to stand a chance to sign him. Forest close to completing the $30 million deal for Botafogo's Igor Jesus and Jair Cunha. Remember that they were looking for 3 players from Botafogo for that $30 to $32 million. We'll see if that continues. Sporting and Victor Gyökeres edging closer to joining Arsenal instead of Manchester United. Bayer Leverkusen's Florian Wirtz expected to complete his club record transfer to Liverpool on Friday. Follow-up from Ben Jacobs on that coming up in a second. Brighton have received a £25.6 million offer from Napoli for Matt O'Reilly. Napoli and AC Milan interested in Federico Chiesa. Sunderland keen on signing former Southampton defender Duje Kaleta-Kar from Lyon. The 28-year-old Croat international 13 times in the Premier League back in 22-23. Everton open contract talks with Jared Branthwaite. 2 more years left on his current deal. David Moyes wants to tie him down long term. Thomas Partey expected to leave Arsenal the end of June. Negotiations over a new deal at a standstill. Dortmund's Jamie Gittins, intent on joining Chelsea, remains their main target in that position. Manchester United waiting to discover whether it will be possible to sign João Palhinha on loan after they did not spend money on Ederson from Atalanta. Ederson, the midfielder, not Ederson, the keeper. Liverpool's Joe Gomez, interesting to Crystal Palace, Leeds, and West Ham. Club are open to letting him go. Benjamin Sesko wants a release clause in his contract if he is to join Arsenal from RB Leipzig. Napoli and Inter Milan are interested in signing 17-year-old Polish midfielder Antoni Berkiewicz from Raków Czestochowa. God bless you. Birmingham City have expressed an interest in signing Kyogo from Rennes. I'm sure that scream you just heard was Jarrett. Kyogo has been a target for Jarrett for Atlanta United for quite some time. Kyogo, $7.5 million. Keep an eye on Birmingham City. Jarrett is going to try and steer that transfer over to Atlanta United. Trabzonspor have agreed to a fee, €8 million with Southampton for Paul Onuachu. Rejected a €12 million bid for Kamaldeen Suleimana from Atalanta, who are managed by Ivan Juric, who used to coach at Southampton. Keep an eye on Southampton and Sheffield United trying to sign William Gibbles from St. Gallen, who scored 14 goals in 31 matches last year. Watford set to sign James Abankwah from Udinese, and it looks like that Caleb Wiley's going back to Watford for another loan from Chelsea for the 25-26 season. Wrexham targeting Danny Ings and Aaron Cresswell from West Ham. Middlesbrough targeting Alfie Gilchrist from Chelsea. Blackburn Rovers, Tyrus Dolan has drawn interest from Norwich, Celtic, and Rangers. Blackpool interested in Millwall's George Honeyman and Brandon Kayla from Birmingham City. Now, what to look for from our buddy Ben Jacobs. Ben has been a very, very busy man here in this side of the world, and he's still cranking stuff out. Kevin Durant now investing directly in PSG, reported by both Adam Crafton and Joe Varden. Was already an investor via Arctos, now has a small stake directly in PSG. And Arctos' 1/8 stake in PSG remains the same, 12.5%. Durant will also lead on exploring a potential basketball franchise with QSI. PSG have made Bournemouth an improved offer of £55 million for Ilya Zabarnyi. No full agreement yet. Bournemouth wants more than $65 million. Fer Lopez confirmed by Wolves, joining from Celta de Vigo for €23 million, 5-year deal. Liverpool have agreed on a £40 million deal to sign Milos Kerkesh from Bournemouth, lower than the $45 million asking price. Kerkesh to be formalized next week ahead of signing a 5-year deal. Teddy Sharman-Lowe joining Bolton on a season-long loan. The move for Florian Wirtz is 100 plus 16. £100 million plus £16 million to move to Liverpool ahead of an official announcement. Then it is, let me see if there's anybody else that I've missed. Liverpool Leverkusen finalizing a package just north of €40 million, £34 million for Jarrell Quansah, including add-ons. Verbal, not quite done, but heading in that direction. What to watch, where to watch it, how to watch it. And we will do that we will try and figure out how we can do it quickly. And it'll be Dell good. Dell got some tickets in section 129 behind the benches for the fire match. It'll be good to see Dell when he wanders in. So everyone please say hi when Dell comes in for the fire match. Today, USL Championship on the Deuce, Lexington and Colorado Springs at 7. FS1, Jamaica, Guadalupe at 7:45, Guatemala, Panama at 10. Club World Cup on TBS at 9 o'clock. It is Bayern Munich, Boca Juniors, Flamengo, and Chelsea is at 2 on TNT. Peru Primera late night tonight on Gold TV, Universitario and ADT. You can catch that on our Fanatis link at fntz.co/soccer down here. 2 to NA, simulcasting the Gold Cup. MLS Next Pro, big matchup. Huntsville City Football Club and Crown Legacy. That's at 8. Timbers 2 and Austin FC 2. Los Verdosos at 11. That's on Apple TV and MLS Season Pass. DAZN USA has all 4 matches, obviously, in the Club World Cup. You can sign up for the free subscription. Catch all of the matchups in the Club World Cup for free. ESPN Plus, Hartford and Loudoun at 7:30 in USL Championship. Veeks has the UEFA U19 Euros, Norway, Germany, Netherlands, England, both at 1 o'clock. U17 semi going on right now, should be almost up on the YouTube channel for MLS Next Cup. U19 semi at 12:15 this afternoon on MLS's YouTube channel. On the women's side, Amazon Prime's National Match of the Week, NWSL Kansas City, Angel City at 8. NWSL Plus has Racing Louisville and Orlando at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow, Gold Cup Night Side FS1. TBS, River Plate and Monterey at 9. ESPN Deportes, the final of the second leg for promotion playoff, 3 o'clock Oviedo and Mirandes. Fox Deportes simulcasting Peru Primera at 2. 2 to NA simulcasting Gold Cup as well as Univision. MLS Next Pro and Season Pass, 3 matches on Apple TV. Chattanooga FC and FC Cincinnati 2's on at 7 o'clock. Core's on at 7:30. DAZN USA, once again, all 4 matchups in the Club World Cup. ESPN Plus has 6 matches USL Championship, 5 matches USL League One, and the second leg simulcast of Oviedo and Mirandes. Big weekend rivalry-wise in League One. Greenville, Chattanooga, One Knox, and Tormenta. That is the 2 of your early games on League One on Saturday. Fox Soccer Plus and at 1 Soccer. Canadian Premier League doubleheader, Halifax at Vancouver at 2, Cavalry and Pacific at 4:30. Golazo Network, USL Championship doubleheader Saturday, Indy, Vegas, Monterey Bay, El Paso. MLSNextPro.com from Swangard, North Texas SC, Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2. U15 final, 11:30 on Saturday morning involving Atlanta United. And that's on MLS's YouTube channel. MLS Next Cup U16 final is at 2:30. Women NWSL doubleheader on ION, 7:30 and 10. ESPN Plus, the Northern Super League at 2. Golazo Network, Utah and Seattle, NWSL at 5. NWSL Plus has Courage in Houston Dash at 7:30. And Paramount Plus has the NWSL Utah and Seattle at 5. Whew. That gets us through Saturday, people. So there's virtually nothing going on here in the world. But as always, it's great to see all of you when we're out and about. Once again, remember that we will be at Mercedes-Benz on Sunday night with a lot of you hanging out late. So it'll be great to see all of you. And thanks to all of you who have braved your work hours and either watched in person or just watched the tournaments that are going on. Very, very busy time right now with Gold Cup, Club World Cup, all of that. Great to see all of you out and about. And great to see how the sport that we talk about every single day is a part of our lives the way that it is. Thanks to Bart for breaking down things and reffing down here because I had some questions. And thanks to Bart, obviously, as always, for his thoughts. The day after U.S. and Saudi Arabia, we'll have Bart back on Monday. We'll have Abe back on Monday. Probably talk Club World Cup, Gold Cup, those kinds of things before Bart joins us at 10 o'clock. And we'll rock and roll. From there, for everybody here at SDH, it's another week here on SDH AM. As always, mucho platiel, play it safe. And since it is a Friday, there's only one way you know that we can end the week. And so here it is. Play it safe, everybody. Mucho platiel. We'll catch up with you in person this weekend and again on Monday morning, 9:05 Eastern. Play it safe, everybody. Mucho platiel. Enjoy.
The keys on the typewriter had sharp points that kept sticking into our fingers. The dictating equipment started asking us questions, and our beepers sent electric shocks just through our body like a cattle prod. Out in the warehouse, the trucks kept banging into the docks, not even thinking about stopping. Oh, our frail bodies were strapped to the chairs, and our chairs were chained to the desks. Our pleas for justice were ignored, and the end seemed near. But we busted! We've charged out of their brick fortress. The streets are ours. Be gone.